This is a heist for the Miami Heat. In an offseason full of headliner names like Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo, as well as an ample amount of others, the Miami Heat may be in a position to go out and acquire someone without a blockbuster name and still have a dominant offseason. I'm here to break down the brand new reports that connect all-star Jonathan Kuminga to this Miami Heat organization. I'm here to break down all of that on this episode of Heat Digest. But first, please do remember, if you're a part of the near 80% watching this video, scroll down, click the subscribe button to stay up to date on everything Miami Heat. We are getting into the thick of the offseason, and things are going to start taking off. And you have to make sure you are staying up to date with everything Miami Heat on this channel. We do appreciate the love and support, so thank you guys for everything. But now let's get to it and break down a possible fallback option for this Miami Heat organization. Now, you may be thinking, Houston, you just labeled this as a possible heist for the Miami Heat. How is this going to be considered a fallback option, and how is one going to correlate with the other? Well, we all know the conversations that have been had up to this point in the year surrounding this Miami Heat team, and really all bidding teams this offseason with Kevin Durant, Giannis, Zion Williamson. The names go on and on and on of possible free agents and possible trade targets this offseason that could put a mediocre to an average team into championship contention. But now, with all of the big names and all of the big salaries being demanded, could the Miami Heat still go out there, make a massive splash, and not have to pick up an aging veteran that is still going to require an absolute surplus of dollars as well as assets in exchange in trade? So let's break down this article written by Michael Scotto. It goes on to break down different scenarios involving different teams, and the one we are mainly going to focus on is obviously Jonathan Kuminga and his chances and opportunities to land with this Miami Heat organization this offseason. Now, he goes on to label this as a Kevin Durant talks, as well as Desmond Bane, and a bunch of different things that are going on amongst the league. Now, we all know it's the offseason. There's going to be a lot of transactions and little things happening. But when the blockbuster moments start to happen, the Miami Heat could be right in the middle of all of it. And again, this could end up being a fallback option if Durant ends up going elsewhere, like the San Antonio Spurs, the Houston Rockets, the Minnesota Timberwolves, as all of those teams, including the Miami Heat, have been labeled as favorites to possibly land Durant this offseason. We haven't got any real updates surrounding Giannis and his situation going on in Milwaukee up to this point after all of the early conversations once their season immediately ended. And again, Zion is a conversation, as well as a bunch of other big names, whether it be via trade or just being a free agent this offseason. The Miami Heat are going to have an ample amount of opportunities to go out there and make a splash. But here is Jonathan Kuminga, this young man, probably one of the pieces that should have been in return for Jimmy Butler at the All-Star break or at the trade deadline this past season, could be available and could be a perfect fit for this Miami Heat team for a magnitude of different reasons. So we're going to start with the first quote, again, citing this article that will be tagged down below if you want to read the entirety of it, as again, Michael went on to break down a lot of different points for a lot of different scenarios and teams this offseason. So if you'd like to read it, it's down in the description like it normally is. If you'd like to read it in its entirety, we are going to focus on these two main quotes. The first one being, Kuminga is looking for an expanded and consistent role moving forward, league sources told Hoops Hype. The Chicago Bulls and Miami Heat are two teams to monitor as potential sign and trade candidates for Kuminga, league sources told Hoops Hype. With that in mind, the Warriors have also not ruled out the possibility of retaining Kuminga, sources said. Now, Jonathan Kuminga, if you missed this past year from Kuminga, there wasn't a lot going on until the postseason. Now, was he a good player? Was he an just above average player? Absolutely. But when you watch this young man, when you understand what he has in the sense of abilities and possible potential, there's not a lot of other options like this. He is so young. He's going into his age 23 season. It'll be the fifth year in the league for Jonathan Kuminga. And yes, he's been playing with Golden State with other great talents in Draymond Green. They earned some defensive credibility as well as offensively. Klay Thompson in early stages, as well as Steph Curry and others. And he has done nothing but expand his game. Now, the only thing that hasn't really expanded has been the role and the overall usage that he maintains. And I will say that did change in the playoffs for Jonathan Kuminga and the rest of this Golden State team because, well, Curry went down. They needed someone to step up, and Jonathan Kuminga flat out said, I understand the assignment. I know if I go out here and if I go out there and play my hardest and I play my most effective, I could end up getting absolutely paid this offseason. And that's exactly what Jonathan Kuminga did. Now, whether or not he will be valued at what he did in the playoffs is to be determined. And I can't wait to see how this ends up turning out because he is very young and the offensive capabilities are outstanding, and the overall size and length could give him a lot of potential on the defensive end as well. But if you look through these box scores, through the playoffs against a very good team that ended up beating the Golden State Warriors in 5 games mainly because, if you'd like to argue, they didn't have Steph Curry for the majority of these games, but Kuminga stepped up and really just showcased all of his talent on the biggest stage up to that point in the season. If you see 26-point game, 23-point game, 30-point game, 30-point game, an 18-point game, and a 7-point game, he got better and better as the season progressed, and it was no surprise. After watching him during the regular season in small spurts highlight his abilities, he just simply needs a bigger and elevated role. And if he were able to come to Miami, not only would he get that expedited role where he would be more of a presence offensively, but he would also have players like Bam Adebayo, Khalil Ware, and Tyler Hero surrounding him just in the starting lineup, which could unlock him even more. Now, am I going to make the case that we could be one of the better defensive teams in the entirety of the league if Kuminga was a part of this Miami Heat team? No, because we haven't seen the defensive capabilities on the floor from Kuminga up to this point. We've seen him learn and play alongside players like Draymond Green and others that are staples defensively. But have we seen it absolutely translate to the point where he's an anchor defensively, someone you have a lot of faith in defensively, especially on the wing, guarding other elite level offensive talents? Not quite yet. But what a place in Miami to bring in someone like Kuminga, who already has the offensive gifts, to unlock the defensive capabilities he may maintain that we have not seen yet. Miami is the perfect place, somewhere that it's going to be a team system, at least defensively, in order to get the ball rolling for him independently. I love the idea of this. If you look from year to year, he has gotten better and better, just needs more opportunity. And if the Miami Heat could give him that opportunity and result in absolutely just terrorizing the rest of this league, and it would greatly improve their offensive overall abilities. And now Andrew Wiggins is obviously still a part of this Miami Heat team, and we don't know how that would mix in the sense of having 2 star small forwards. And yes, I'm using that term star very loosely because obviously Wiggins and Kuminga have been all-stars before, maybe once. I don't know if Kuminga actually got it yet, but he has the gameplay and he has the ability to go out there and win and earn these all-star ballots because of the overall bag and abilities that he does maintain. Now, the second quote that we're going to highlight from this article, again, tagged down below, is as follows. Miami has prioritized pursuits of Giannis Antetokounmpo if he became available this offseason, and Durant, whom they're actively trying to acquire. Conversations we've already had not only on this channel, in this video, but in the past. If you have not seen them and you want more updates on Kevin Durant, there are an ample set of them before this video, so go check them out. We do appreciate all the views and all of the watch time that we get, so thank you guys. On their wish list ahead of Kuminga, who's viewed as a fallback option to the 2 All-Stars. Absolutely considered a fallback option if Durant and Giannis are available. Those guys are transcendent Hall of Fame players. There's no way around it. There's no guessing game. There's no optimism or game of hope that you'll be playing like you would if you were going out to acquire a 23, 24-year-old Jonathan Kuminga. I can't wait to see if Miami makes a hot pursuit at someone like Kuminga. It's going to be very, very, very interesting as he will be an unrestricted free agent, he will be a restricted free agent next season at this time. He obviously has a club option this year as well as he did last year. A sign and trade will have to be the way the Miami Heat are going to be able to acquire Kuminga this offseason, and it could be something that could be very, very available, especially if multiple teams get in on this trade, allowing for a bunch of different assets to be moved around. Duncan Robinson could possibly be one of these players that we could see in a sign and trade for Jonathan Kuminga, someone with an expiring contract that is earning just a few more dollars than the Heat would like to hold on to in the sense of contract-wise. And he could definitely be a substantial piece out in Golden State, who we all know love to live and die by the three-point shot. I think this is a very intriguing opportunity for the Miami Heat, especially if players like Giannis and Kevin Durant end up elsewhere, if not in the same place they are currently sitting in the respected Milwaukee as well as Phoenix, Arizona. Let me know down below what your overall opinions are on this possible trade or sign and trade idea involving Jonathan Kuminga and this Miami Heat team. And I will see you guys on the next episode of Heat Digest.